Okay, so here are all the pieces that are going to be pretty much needed to make the sword above here. And it's not too many pieces, and it's rather quick processing because all you really need to do is just melt the pieces together, super glue and clamp. And as you can see, there's an iron rod here that I use. That iron rod goes inside the base pieces, which is inside this section here and this section, so between these four pieces, and it has to be bent in two places, so it has to be bent around here and around here, because obviously the katana contours slightly. As you can see, it's not perfectly straight, it's got a slight curve to it, so I just use physical force just to angle it, and then it sits perfectly. It's the electronics. So here is the insides of the thermal blade. Here we have a 8-volt battery, which is used to power Sony a7R2, Sony a7S2 cameras. And this I connect with a 12-volt input from the mains, so this could be basically on 24/7 as a displaying unit. So I have two different inputs for power. Now I cannot have this connected if the battery's in there, because the voltage is just so different, that would overcharge it. So I can only have them one at a time, but it's just nice there in case you want to have it on display. So then, since the LED strip is only 5 volts, I need to limit it with a buck converter, and I have a buck converter here that's really tiny, 11 by 17 millimeters. However, this Bluetooth controller SP110 can take 5 volts to around 24 volts, so it wouldn't be a problem on this side, it's a problem on the LED strip side, because if it's any higher than 5 volts it will get really hot and eventually it will burn out. And lastly, I have a latching switch here, which is an on and off switch that just basically cuts this continuity for the red wire that goes after the buck converter before the Bluetooth controller. And lastly, I have a cast iron rod here. It's around 5 millimeters in thickness, and it goes all the way to the end. That way we make sure that it doesn't snap when you swing it around. So as you can see, just after the battery, all the way to the end. So it's very sturdy. A few more things that I want to demonstrate. So let's have a look at the weight of the competition katana. It is around 438 grams. Now this is made out of aluminum, it's full tang, it is very sturdy, very good. Love training with it. 438 grams. Let's compare it to the 3D printed one with the iron rod inside it. 438, 404. So that's 34 grams lighter, which is incredible. So it's even lighter, and length is pretty much the same. It's got more blade than handle. The handle is much smaller. And I wanted to show one more thing, the lighting. So this is controlled from my mobile phone. As you can see, I've got an app here, and it is the LED Hue app. And once you got it connected and you got the right controller selected, you can change between different presets. There's many different things, which is really cool. Like this one's really cool. There's a lot of presets. You can change the brightness, you can change the speed of the animations. For example, look at this one. You can speed it up, see how fast it goes, or you can really slow it down. Let's go down here. This is a nice strobe effect. Speed it up. Or I can really turn down the brightness. It's much more visible on camera, for example. Really low brightness. Or turn it up to the max. Yeah, it's really amazing. I love it. So this is how the battery works. Over here, these two bolts are dummy bolts, so there's nothing actually in there on the other side, as you can see. Only one is functional, and I've got a brass threaded insert here, which actually holds this in place. And the way it's held in place on this side, as you can see, it's got a little bevel. So that's how it is held in place, just by angled. So it can't go up or down, it can only go left or right without the battery in place. And the way to remove the battery is using this little strip here. Can I do this one on? Yeah, I can. See? So that way, you don't have to pry it out. This little strip here. There we go. And then you will hide the strip inside. And then screw it in with an Allen key. Okay, let's see if I can do a video like this. So, today I want to show off this new Arasaka Thermal Blade from Cyberpunk. And yeah, so I got two of these now. Finally finished making them. Only took me around a week. I started it last week, but that was more modeling time. But now I finished the second one today. So yeah, went pretty well. I'll show you the second one. The second one is already up on the wall. As you can see, that is plugged in into the DC mains, and I got them wired up into the mains. Which is, one second, let me just see. You can see it down here. It goes into the mains, and the wires are here. One for the sparder, one for the Noctis engine blade, the thermal blade, and the Buster Sword over here. So they're all hooked up into the wall, which is pretty nice. I'm happy about that. And it looks rather cool. We've got the light off as well, check that out. Sexy. Yes. So that was the whole point of having the DC connectors, that you can have them as your display unit. Works very, very nicely. Check that out. So yeah, I'm very happy with that. Let me just get the light back on. And let me show you this close up. Excuse the fan. Let me just put it up here. So yeah, check this out. Got quite a few printed pieces, but there's only two segments that go from one end to the other. And you can see the joint. Well, you can't really see the joint here because I used the textured sheet on my printer. You can only really see it from this side, I guess. But it's very, very seamless anyway. Just gotta secure this because I haven't got the end on here. However, it is on this one, on the other edge, on the other side. So this one was the first one that I made, and this is the second one that I just finished up today. This one is a bit neater, it's a bit more polished because the first one was a prototype and I was checking out all the flaws and stuff.